game so far. They didn't even drop clusters. How's it going, guys? Coffee here. Today I wanted to go over the final updates, I guess, for the campaign version of the grenade Deadeye build. As we work our way, I was able to push through the campaign. Pushing through Acts 1 through 3 on Cruel ended up taking maybe only 5 hours or something after making this swap. The build kind of really took off after having a little bit of a slower progression going through the first half. But let's go ahead and jump into kind of what has changed. Not too much changed early on, outside of I finally actually got an upgrade to the crossbow from what I had in the previous video, which is basically just the same crossbow but with more damage. We're doing that. The only thing I would say I wasn't covering is make sure that you are always picking up every item with sockets, and ensure that you are salvaging it to make sure that you're actually getting your artificer orbs to add sockets to things. That made a big difference, obviously, just so you can add that other 40% fizz on there. That is base fizz on there. So it does increase the physical damage on the actual item itself. Other than that, I crafted myself a decent belt. Everything else on here is just very, pretty much the same, and it does need to be replaced. But the big change that we did add since the last video is we have actually added ball lightning and lightning warp. And you'll notice basically what this means is that, we now have a movement speed or a movement skill here that is faster than what we can run at. And if you are doing this in a map, I guess this must be downhill or something right now, but typically when you're doing this in a map, you can actually teleport more than once off of your ball lightnings, up to 3 times off of these. And what this also actually gives is it does give a copy of Shocked Ground as well. And this Shocked Ground is a 35% effect Shocked Ground. So let's see if I can get something to actually survive long enough for it to matter. Oh, let's see. Wrong direction. Let me just kind of showcase what this looks like here. So it does actually add a little bit more to what you're doing for bosses, but pretty much you're still doing the same stuff, but you also have the ability here. Again, you can get yourself through monsters if you're trying to. You can no longer get yourself fully trapped. It does mean that you're going to end up probably at some point not killing enough things like what I did. I ended up behind on levels for the first time for a little bit because I was actually just running through. But yeah, it does mean again you finally have a movement skill so you can actually jump over gaps. Again, turns out movement skills are pretty good. There's a reason why we love them in Path of Exile 1. So yeah, the Shock to Ground that does come from this is a 35% effect with the supports on it here. So obviously, with the inability to get multipliers in this, having a new one definitely makes a big difference. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me see. I'll show you the path, the tree, and the skill gems that I ended up having to use to get that. So, first things first, the tree that I did end up having to use in order to get that. You do end up having to take this bottom wheel here. It does give you reduced attribute requirements, but I mean, realistically, having a bunch of stats, not the worst. I mean, you do get this Jack of all trades, which does give you a decent little damage boost for it, and the attributes are useful elsewhere. So, working out the tree here, we did end up taking the sand in the eyes here for this extra attack speed, extra blind effect. We fully push out this full salvo right here. We are taking this crossbow reload speed. The +1 grenade here is for cluster grenade. Still don't quite use this enough yet, though they did end up just doing some nerfs to gas grenade. So it might cluster grenade might end up getting used a little bit more now. So let's take a look here at the gas grenade damage. They didn't push through this update yet, unless they already did and I just missed it and I didn't realize it because it must have been higher before I even looked. But so the core of the build here is still just this. We are using explosive shot here. As soon as you get up to a 4th socket, you put conk effect on your explosive shot just for more damage there. And then for your gas grenade, we're running fire infusion, inspiration, and martial tempo. The extra attack speed on the gas grenade does make a big difference in terms of actually ensuring that you're actually getting your shots off to where you have time to get a shot of grenades off and then dodge, get a shot of grenades off and then dodge. So it really helps with the tempo and of the fights to ensure you're actually getting grenades down while still dodging all the time. So the core of the build, we do have Blasphemy because of the fact that we pushed to get that extra int. We are running a Blasphemy Flammability with Magnified Effect to give it more AoE. And then we are running a Lightning Warp here with Momentum, Persistence, and Overcharge. You don't need to be running the Momentum on here. You can run something else, but I am fine with it just because a little bit of extra damage is kind of whatever. But with Lightning Warp again, just for your 2 sockets, just run it with Persistence and Overcharge. I think this might actually be a level 3 support. I don't actually remember. You know what? I can actually check this. Let's find out. For Overcharge, but let's take a look here. Overcharge support is level 3, but once you actually start getting these, make sure you put it on. It definitely makes a big difference. Even before you get it, still having this on as a 20% shock effect. Shocked ground is still really nice. The persistence on it makes the shocked ground last even longer, so that is very, very helpful. We're still making sure we're throwing down oil grenade as well for our fire exposure. So we have oil grenade for fire exposure, and then you have your Blasphemy for the extra reduced, and then we have the shocked ground from Lightning Warp. And then the way that Lightning Warp works is it will either go to coal enemies, or you can use it to target ball lightning projectiles, which is pretty much how we use it exclusively. So with ball lightning here, we're just running it with acceleration, with arcane tempo, and with unleash. The unleash is kind of unnecessary. So again, if you only have the 2 sockets, just run it with acceleration and arcane tempo. That will, I guess if you're not a Deadeye, you're only going to get 1 projectile, which means you're only going to get 1 teleport with it. It's still going to be good though. So for me, it's just like by using unleash, because it's allowing me to basically get those times where I'm jumping 2 or 3 times with Lightning Warp. Sometimes it's helpful, but it's not the end of the world if you can't do it. So yeah, I'll leave you with some footage here of some bossing through the campaign, and other than that, see you in the next one.
The ZOOMS has finally come for me. The ends justify the means. Progress comes with a heavy price. A minor setback.
Not yet.
I can't give up. I must save my people.
You know why we're here! It happened! It cannot be stopped!
No, I will succeed.
Patience.
How foolish. Do you truly think you can match me? One death is nothing for the greater good. The destruction of Exile will be... What? How? Get up! Get up! Now! You are within my grasp. You leave me no choice. This is not over yet. Let's see you survive this. Aziri will soon begin her ascension. Out of my way or die. No! Do not fail me. Not now!